Boko Haram is a godless, mindless group. Those were the words of President Muhammadu Buhari in his inaugural speech on May the 29th at the Eagle Square in Abuja. And that perhaps explains why the president is leaving no stone unturned to ensure that the militant group is defeated. After a one-day summit in Abuja last Thursday, Nigeria and its neighbors agreed to set up a joint military force to counter Boko Haram. Hello and welcome to Diplomatic Channel. I'm Temitope Fagbemi and the program starts right now.
Libya says a top Islamist militant who ordered a deadly attack on an Algerian gas plant 2 years ago has been killed in a U.S. airstrike in the country. A statement from Libya's government says Mokhtar Belmokhtar was killed in the eastern city of Ajdabiya. There was mild drama at the AU summit in South Africa after a court there issued an interim order preventing Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir from leaving the country until the judge hears an application calling for his arrest. Wanted by the International Criminal Court, President Bashir is accused of committing war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide during the Darfur conflict. Pressure is growing for an inquiry into whether Australian officials used taxpayers' money to turn back a boat carrying asylum seekers. The opposition accused the government of misusing public funds, calling for a review by the chief auditor. Earlier, the Indonesian government said that if Australia did pay to turn a boat full of asylum seekers back to Indonesia, it would mark a new low in its handling of immigration. South Korea's health ministry reported 5 new cases of Middle East respiratory syndrome MERS on Monday, taking the total to 150 in an outbreak that is the largest outside Saudi Arabia. The ministry also said a patient infected with the MERS virus had died, the 16th fatality in an outbreak that began in May.
After holding an extraordinary summit in Abuja, Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, the heads of state and government of the Lake Chad Basin Commission and Benin Republic have approved the deployment of national contingents in the Multinational Joint Task Force, MNJTF, by July 30. A communique which was read at the end of the meeting by the Executive Secretary of the Lake Chad Basin Commission, Mr. Sanusi Abdullahi, says the heads of government also resolved that the national contingents be deployed under the operational command of the MNJTF commander, assisted by his joint headquarters.
The heads of state and government of Lake Chad Basin Commission and Benin further agreed on the need to support military operations with an emergency development plan in favor of vulnerable populations in the region in order to fight against the root causes of insecurity relating to poverty. At the end of their deliberations, the heads of state and government of Lake Chad Basin Commission and Benin Republic took the following decisions: approve the concept of operations, strategic and operational, and related documents of the Multinational Joint Task Force for the fight against Boko Haram terrorist groups. Approve the immediate deployment of the Multinational Joint Task Force headquarters at N'Djamena, Chad, by implementing its human, logistics, and financial requirements. Approve the development of the national contingents to the Multinational Joint Task Force under the operational command of the Multinational Joint Task Force commander, assisted by his joint headquarters by 30th July 2015. Approve the funding of the sum of $30 million for the installation and equipping of the Multinational Joint Task Force headquarters. Approve the establishment of the Executive Secretariat at the headquarters of the mission and the Executive Secretary of the Lake Chad Basin Commission being the head of the mission. Approve the nomination of 3 key posts of responsibility of the Multinational Joint Task Force headquarters as follows: Force Commander Nigeria, Deputy Force Commander Cameroon on rotational basis for 12 months, every 12 months. Chief of Staff from Chad, rotational every 12 months. Request the African Union support to Multinational Joint Task Force in its operations, logistics, and general mission support by mobilizing financial support. Resolve to seek the support of strategic partners notably European Union, France, United Kingdom, and United States of America in favor of the multinational joint task force.
Meanwhile, at the summit, President Muhammadu Buhari says Nigeria's security agencies are compiling comprehensive logistic needs against Boko Haram to be forwarded to the G7 nations. This comes after the president's meeting with the G7 member nations in Germany last Monday.
I'm sure I will recall that I was personally invited by G7. I went there and I was asked to brief the G7, and I was impressed with the tremendous sympathy they have for this sub-region, Lake Chad Basin Commission. Their humanitarian approach to the issue, to say the least, is very, very impressive. And all of them, not only in Europe, from President Obama to the chairman of G7 and the French president, they are all willing to help us. And they have actually asked me to discuss with their chief defense of staff or with their ministries of defense, or to talk to them directly what we need. So I brought this case to our meeting here, and I told them Nigeria we have gone quite far. I had 5 hours meeting with my service chiefs, and I asked them to produce a comprehensive logistic requirement.
Still to come on Diplomatic Channel, a breakdown of cost by the Pentagon reveals that the United States spends more than $9 million a day on the war against Islamic State. Please stay with us.